people would say, Gary, how can you be optimistic on America even if you looked for a dampened animal spirit?
Because there's so many people are pessimistic. They are taking the slow growth and assuming it's going to last forever. And that's an easy thing to sell because everybody says, right on, brother, that's what I see.
That's what they sell, but within the nominal GDP, are you looking for new technological progress?
Yes.
Or is it some other way that we get to a better spirit?
We're in the age of deleveraging. We're working off the excess debt, excess financing that was run up in the 80s and 90s. When that's over, I think we'll go back to strong growth, and it will be, as usual, led by new technologies. Many of them now are really in their infancy.
Right.
I mean, you look at the Internet, look at how that has blossomed in just the last 10 years. And anybody who says that's over, I think, just has no idea of what new technologies do and how long it takes them to develop to the point that they push the economy.
Right.
They're not just growing rapidly, but big enough to move the economy.
Well, the age of Shilling is, of course, interest rates up and then interest rates down, down, down. Gary Shilling, Brendan, was called an absolute fool in the early 80s with interest rates at 10 and 12 and 14%. And it's been a massive global moderation.
Yeah, and Gary, there are two ways of looking at central bank actions around the world. One is that they are driving the drop in rates. The other is that they are, as Martin Wolf says, apes on a treadmill, responding to underlying economic conditions with really no other choice. Which is it?
I think it's the latter. As a matter of fact, if you look at the spillover from Fed funds to 10-year Treasuries and 30-year Treasuries, if you get a 100 basis point move in Fed funds, it's only 25 basis points in the 30-year and 35 basis points in the 10-year on average. It's the deflationary forces, it's the working down debt, it's excess capacity, globalization, all these downward depressing factors on inflation that are really driving interest rates. And to say this is the Fed assumes that they have a lot more power in the long end. And the Fed doesn't work on the long end. They work on the overnight rates.
Just in the immediate term, Gary, we're up to 2.46% again on the 10-year. That's quite a move in the last few days. Do we hold in that range?
Yeah, I think it's headed lower. I still think that we could see 1% on the 10-year and 2% on the 30-year. But, you know, let's face it, it had a tremendous run. I mean, prices going up late last year into January, and then it's backed up some. But, you know, one of the things that's going on here is there is so little liquidity in markets. I mean, ever since the Fed got out of the QE business, you simply haven't had all that liquidity, and that's affecting virtually all markets. You see the volatility, and it really means you've got to, you know, portfolios we run, we hold a lot of cash because there's tremendous volatility right now. And I think right now you've seen the sell-off in Treasuries, but I don't think that's going to last. Well.